Hey everyone, Handray and Crazy Handray here to show us something pretty cool about the Switch 10.0 update that enhances a couple of sets of games. So as you may have heard, the 10.0 update includes a brand new change button mapping feature that lets you remap any button to any other on a Pro Controller or Joy-Cons. If we hop into the Pro Controller here, you can see an easy to use screen that lets you remap any button to any other, and I've already made a couple of tweaks as you can see. So spoiler alert. Now, the two sets of games we're talking about, as you may have guessed, are Super Nintendo and Nintendo or NES games specifically. So let's talk about the Super Nintendo ones first, because these, the things I'm going to explore are a little bit different between the two apps. Now, on the Super Nintendo, one of the big things with these games, of course, is the fact that they included two shoulder buttons for the first time on a controller. And these were used in a bunch of games, such as F-Zero or Star Fox, to basically lean into corners. Now, even though the Pro Controller includes a set of shoulder buttons, of course, I find the triggers much easier to access. The problem was before, the triggers didn't do anything except for allow you to access the in-app menu by holding both of them down. But, as you may have guessed, you can now switch that functionality in the 10.0 update. So I now assign the shoulder button functionalities to the triggers and the triggers to the shoulder buttons. So now if I want to switch the in-game, if I want to activate the in-game or in-app options, I just hit both of these, whereas the actual controls are now mapped on the trigger buttons. So let's go ahead and show this off. So once again, the functionality that was on the shoulder buttons is now on ZL and ZR instead. And as you can see, I can just press ZR to drift to the right or ZL to drift to the left. And this feels so much better. This feels so much more comfortable to me. As I drift around these corners, it feels great. So I highly recommend making this change. This feels so good. This is how I want to play all Super Nintendo games now. As a reminder, doing this though, you will want to remap the shoulder or the triggers to L and R. So there we go, that's how it enhances Super Nintendo games. Now there is one other Super Nintendo game I want to switch to real quick, even though it's not directly related to this video, and that is I want to go to Super Mario World for one important reason. Okay, so here we are in Super Mario World, and as you might recall, you use Y to run, B to jump, and the A is the spin. That doesn't matter too much. It's more about Y to running, Y for running, and and B to jump. Y runs, B jumps. That's how I play Mario World. That's how I'm so used to playing Mario World, and not just Mario World, but pretty much any modern game. These are how the controls work in pretty much any Mario game. Here is the problem. If you go to the NES app, check this out. Let's go ahead and start with Mario 3, which is, the game that preceded Mario World. So here we are in the game itself. There's a Goomba coming, so if we press B to jump, oh god, we can't jump. What? We have to press A to jump. So B is actually assigned to run, which feels completely backwards to me. The reason they did this is because the NES, on the NES, you use B and A to, run and jump. But the difference was the layout was completely different. They were horizontal, not in this diamond configuration. So it feels all kinds of wrong when you're coming from more modern games like Super Mario World or again, even 3D World. This just feels not right to me. You can also use X and A instead, but again, it just doesn't feel right. I want to use Y and B, and this doesn't work at all. Y doesn't do anything on the NES, and B is again for run and not jump. But luckily, we can now finally fix that by just going home. We'll go back to that controller mapping screen. Change button mapping. So let's go ahead and go down to Y here, and we're going to change that to B. And then we're going to change B to B, A. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and click done. And now we're going to go ahead and hop back into the NES app. And oh look, we can use Y to run and B to jump. Oh my god, yes. This feels so much better. So this will apply to, this also works for any other Mario game on the NES, including Mario 1 and Mario 2. And I'm sure this will work for any NES game, period. What am I talking about? Every NES game will have this issue. So yeah, it feels particularly great with Mario having this, because of the comparison to Mario World, for instance. But yeah, any NES app or any NES game can be enhanced by this. So there you guys have it. That's a quick look at how the 10.0 update can even enhance your gaming on the Nintendo Switch, even if you don't otherwise need the accessibility options. This can enhance these old school games for you as it did for me. So thanks for watching. Of course, stay tuned to Game Explain for lots more on the Nintendo Switch online service and everything else involving the Switch. And if you like this video, make sure to click subscribe and ring that bell for tons more. Alright everyone, we'll catch you later. Bye.